Uh-oh.
What's up, Randy?
Uh-oh. Let's see if that works. There we go. There he is. There he is. Oh, man. All right now, Hans. You can keep it real on here, but just make sure you be careful because our mama's going to be watching.
Okay.
Greetings and salutations. You are tuned in to Milkshake Scholar Season 2. I'm your host, Randy Winston, and this is a special episode because I have my boy, Hahns Petty, on the line. Now, let me tell y'all something before. Like, listen, Hahns is a business developer for new project development. He's also low-key a comedian. And I don't mean that in an official capacity. He's just a comedian, naturally. And the reason why this episode is special because Hahns, other than one other person, he's the person I've known the longest outside of my siblings and my parents. We go way, way back.
Absolutely.
We go back to like Fulton County Stadium way back. Before Turner Field way back.
Yes, absolutely.
Old Atlanta way back. What's up, brother? What's poppin'?
No, but that's funny that you said that because the first time I remember meeting you, you was sitting. You remember how you had to sit kind of opposite way in the station wagon?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the first time I met you. Your dad came and opened the door this way, and there you were, just sitting there, saying, "Hey, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, what's up?"
Dog, you got like your memory is, and we've talked about this before, dude. Your memory is insane. Like, I cannot believe how much you remember. You remember more than I can. Like, I don't know how you do it. The earliest memory of us kicking it was it was a Friday, because I know we used to do Little Caesars on Fridays, and my parents would get the Bigfoot, and then your mom and my mom would kick it, and that's what I remember. It was a Friday, and we did movie night with Little Caesars.
Oh yeah, and we used to watch. Was it? It was WCW. We used to watch that a lot. Wrestling, that was really big back then. I think. Who was your boy back then? I used to like Sting.
Back then, and you know what? This is funny. We're gonna talk about this a little bit. So my favorite was Goldberg, and before Goldberg, it was Hulk Hogan. But the reason why it was Hulk Hogan was because Hulk Hogan was like the one that they plastered all over TV and like the posters. Like, we saw Hulk Hogan more than we saw someone like a Booker T, who was just as talented. Like, Booker T, people don't talk about this enough. Booker T was as talented, physically, like gifted as The Rock.
Yes, he was. But it's very political. They decide on who they're gonna, put the gas on. So Hulk Hogan was the face.
Yeah.
So they a lot. But I don't know why Hulk. I did like Hulk, but some of the off-kilter kind of guys, some of the characters they would bring in, like Jake the Snake.
I remember that.
Remember the Nasty Boys. Sting, of course, as I just said.
You know who you used to like?
Who?
Rikishi.
Oh, yeah. Herschel. Yeah, Rikishi was my guy. Rikishi was, and Goldust. And you don't remember Goldust, do you?
Ooh, you were like, I do remember this. You were on the you loved WWF, and you used to tell me about it before I actually watched it. And the reason why I didn't know about WWF was because it would come on cable.
Yeah,
and we were so broke. We have cable.
Yeah, you come over and watch WWF. That's right. Yeah, it only came on cable. You had that, but WCW came on regular TV, and WWF came on cable.
I'm gonna go off the path a little bit. I remember. So for those watching, me and Huz and my brother, my twin sister Yolanda, Sophia sometimes, and then my cousin Shaquille, we had a wrestling league. We had like a wrestling setup. And I had, because I was in the arts and crafts, I had cut out cardboard boxes and made belts out of the cardboard, like championship belts, and colored them in and everything. And when when you and my cousin Shaquille would come over on the weekends, we would have wrestling matches. Like we'd pull the mattress off.
We had the walls decorated with posters. We had a real ring. Yeah, we had a real ring, with the mattress was doing moves and everything like that. And we never got hurt. I don't know, these kids today, somebody ended up getting hurt. But
no, we never, I just thought of you're right. We never got, I think that's because we use pillows as the chairs.
Oh, yeah, that was some good times. I remember that.
Oh man, those some good times, dude. Like my siblings know you. You're pretty much like my brother. So when my siblings talk to you, it's like they're talking to me. That's crazy, man. You know what? I was thinking about one of the most memorable moments, and I'm sure you have a bunch of them. One of the most memorable moments I have of us growing up at East Point was the day your mom spilled grits on her leg.
Oh, yeah.
What was so memorable about that was two things. One was like the scream I heard coming from the kitchen. But also, listen, man, shout out to everybody that go to church. But when you a kid, you just want to have fun. You just want to play. And them Saturdays, the weekends were brutal, man, because Saturdays, we hanging out, we playing Madden all day. We going outside, going to the pool. We just having a good time. And then like Sunday is just like that day you got to give to the Lord. So it's like, you don't even get a chance to play. You're in church all day. So I'll never forget when that happened. Like when your mom was screaming in the kitchen and she's like, get it off me, get it off me. And, like we in there looking and trying to figure out how to help her. And in my mind, I don't know if I ever told you this, but in my mind, I'm thinking, ooh, we ain't got to go to church today. and what happened after they got them grits off? Our asses were in church.
Oh, yeah. I remember those Sunday mornings. It'd be like 5 o'clock, just the devil's hours, and hear that church music start to thump. Ooh. Body like, oh no, make it stop, please. I want to go back and sleep.
Your mom and my mom used to do the same thing. They'll put that worship music on. You be like, damn.
Because every now and again on a Sunday, they might just sleep in. You open up, and everything's light outside. You like, I guess we're not going today. So you just hope and pray, like, man, I hope we all go to church. I know it's bad to say, but that's what I was hoping. At 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, that music starts thumping around. You hear them footsteps, and you hear the shower going. You're like, damn. They're like, get up. You act like you still asleep.
Like you could get out of going to school if you played sick. You couldn't get out of church if you were playing sick, because that would just mean we're gonna take you to church and they're gonna lay hands on you.
Yeah, that would be even worse. I mean, you really be up in church for real. Hours on it. And then my mom, she was an intercessor prayer warrior. So we would have to get there like 4:30. So we getting up at like 3 some days.
But I remember I would pull up to that church, I get in the sanctuary, and I see your mom standing up praying. I see Hahns in the seat slouched. I'm like, dang, bro. And I know you've been there a minute too. I'm like, dang, bro. Dang.
Been here since 4 o'clock, so we ain't leaving at 2.
Wait, what's some memorable? Give me something that was memorable from childhood for you.
Let's see, something memorable. Man, I got so many memories. Probably Camp High Seed days. Camp High Seed days. I don't know if I can say that on camera.
Yeah, that was, for those watching that don't know, that was I won't say the church, but it was a church summer camp that we went to.
It was like
oh my God.
It was territory there. There was gangs in there. You had to know who was who. You had to know, when somebody coming around, hide your food, hide your basketball, because it might get taken.
If you mess with somebody, brother, you got to deal with them. You don't know when they coming to get you. We had karate class and people were fighting karate class.
Fighting karate class. Remember the one karate professor who was, you can't do this nowadays, but he would stretch your legs out if you was acting up or something.
Yep. Yo, you just took me back. Yo, he sure did. He was stretched little. I remember there was this little man in there, and he stretched that joker out because he was acting up. I'm like, yo, back that's like in the 90s, early.
That was like 97, 98.
Yeah, so it's like like back then. That's how we were disciplined, in the Black community. Yeah. So you just sit there watching, like, hey, he should have been acting up.
Yeah, I remember watching it like, dang, like. That ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna run a pot this thing even to stretch me.
Yeah, I remember we were upstairs once because we would move to different locations for karate sometimes, and we were upstairs once, and it was after the karate guy was packing up, getting ready to leave, and there was some beef in the room between two of like the lead dogs in the group, because it was like I forgot what age group I was in, but you got like it's just. Like you got the lead dogs and they got their pack of folks. And these two jokers have been like, beefing all summer. And as the karate guy's walking out, our camp counselor came in and he's like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. He was like, y'all gonna do this right now. Y'all gonna do this right now. And I'm standing on the wall like, what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, y'all got too much energy. Go ahead and figure it out.
Y'all gonna do this right now. Ain't nobody jumping in. I'm talking about at a church camp.
Church camp was literally like ran like the yard, Your parents drop you off. They thinking like, oh, they learned about the Bible and they're in good hands, and literally you're in there throwing down with somebody and you get forced by a camp counselor.
I remember there were two places where things used to go down all the time, and it was usually when all age groups gathered for like these big announcements or meetings, and then it was at lunch. Oh yeah, lunch. Oh man, lunch. You like, hey Nick, there he go over there. That's the one that hit your sister. Oh, bet. Lunch. and my what was my favorite part, Hahns? Was they used to have us line up single file, and we would walk from one area of the church campus to another. And so, like, as we're navigating to different locations, other age groups would be, or like other groups in the same age group as yours would be walking in the opposite direction. So as you're walking single file, you would see somebody you have beef with. And people, and that's when like folks be like, all right, lunch.
Oh yeah, that's what I would do my dirt. I see somebody, because also too, like, being, you were my friend there, and outside of you, maybe a couple other people, but I didn't have any siblings. So, at lunchtime, everybody's just sitting there. So that would be my time. I'm like, all right, I need to show that you don't mess with me. So lunchtime, I see you in that single file line. We just got to handle it right there.
I remember, I'll never forget, like I used to get news reports from people, and because I had you there, my cousin Regina was there, and Regina was dating someone who was like one of the big dogs. So, and then I had my sister, my twin sister, my little sister, and my little brother. So it was like I would always get reports on what's going on. So you would always hear if there was a fight that happened that went down while you weren't around, because somebody would come and be like, yo, you heard your cousin boyfriend went to scrapping with so-and-so. You like, what that happened at? Oh, like over lunch, because we had different lunch periods sometimes. And I just like, boy, this every day. Like, yo, did you hear Hahns went to scrapping with who? Like, I'm like, on the school bus? Like, goddamn. It was wild, man. But those were good times, man.
Those times, because it was just kids and just their rawest. And I feel like now I work in the school system, everything's kind of robotic. They act like kids aren't supposed to be kids. It's a little too astringent for me sometimes, but that's when you really be a kid. You can put holes in the wall and maybe get a time out or something. But you can just be a child and enjoy your youth.
And people thought that just because it was a church camp that yeah, it was just like a specific type of kid that was invited to go there, but we were in College Park. we were in College Park. This was Old National, like Freaknik Old National. This was like those days Old National. So like kids from the area, and you know, it was what it was what it was.
Yeah, you had kids from Godby Road, Camelot, Condiment coming there.
It was what it was. It's like you had to earn your respect in that summer camp. Like at a church, like every day, like you would think, like you drive in, your parents would drive you in, you'll see that cross coming up off the steeple, and you would think it's the Lord's house. Nah, it was the Lord.
First time I realized what was going to be happening is somebody hit me. And I thought, well, let me do the right thing. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. So I told the captain, I was like, hey, you know, I forgot who it was, but I was like, so-and-so hit me. And he looked at me and he said, well, what are you going to do about it? I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on.
And you know me, like, if anybody knows me, you do. And you know, I don't fight. I'm a lover. I like nice hands. I like my skincare on my face. You know, I don't fight, Hahns. And I never forget the day I was at camp, and you know they'll roll the basketballs out, and there's not 50 to 80 basketballs so that every child can get one. So either you wait until the ball bounces your way, you get the rebound, or you know you might have to take it from somebody. So I'm in there, I'm in the gym and I'm talking to someone. I'll never forget this. My brother was at one end of the gym dribbling and shooting around, and there was this kid who was in my age group with him. And I ain't gonna say his name, but he's kind of standing there, like, you know, watching my brother shoot. And I turn around for a little bit and I look back, and homeboy got the ball. And my brother's just kind of standing under the hoop. So I was like, hold up a second. And this is a testament to the energy and the environment that we were going to camp in. Because I wasn't even that kind of kid. Took that ball from my brother, and he was like, nah, man, he gave it to me. And I looked at Michael, I was like, you gave him that ball? He was like, yeah. I told him he could have it. I looked at him, I was like, all right. I walked away. I'm like, man, what the, like,
hey, you gotta state your claim, or you gonna be fodder. You know.
God. Yo, tell me something, man. So, born and raised South Side of Atlanta, both of us, and you've been there pretty much all your life. I mean, like you went to school in the city, and you lived in the city, but just speaking to like Atlanta in general, like I moved away. I've been away since 2014. So for me, coming back home is always a new experience because everything's changing so much. Can you like talk to me about what it's been like for you living there and seeing like gentrification and areas that we used to know were really bad, like being flipped?
Yeah. So the first time I realized there was a change being made was, of course, Olympics. You know, when Olympics came in, they started just like some lipstick jobs around the city, painting, you know, putting up different monuments. They put up, you know, the big condominiums or apartment style dorms for the Olympic athletes around the varsity. And that used to be Techwood, you know, a very rough housing project that was like, you know, had about 5 to 8 stories. I can't remember, that's been so long ago, but I remember it was just high, and you would see it pressed in the interstate, and it just was a very just run down, dilapidated building, and it you know, just an eyesore for the city because you know, that particular area, if you're going through Atlanta on, you know, what's that, 75? Yeah, 75, you're gonna see it. So when they took that down, that's when I really started seeing changes around the city. And I didn't really think of nothing about it until about maybe when I got in college. I started seeing more and more neighborhoods being flipped, more and more different type of people coming into the neighborhoods, more apartment buildings, more condos. And one day, I don't know what made me think of it, was I thought to myself, what, you know, all these people that lived in these subsidized housing, where are they going? Where, because I never see them anymore. As a kid, we ride over from, different areas in Atlanta, and you would see all these different people that live in these housing, but you don't see them anymore. So one day I met a friend. We was linking up to do like some work on some cars or whatnot, and he lived off Panola Road.
Ooh.
And he lived very nice subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to the subdivision. Everything's nice, manicured lawns, just like working class families. And as I kept going over there, we became really good friends. I started noticing that the neighborhood was going down. And I was like, Mike, what's going on with, what's happening here? I see everybody's outside playing music, like oil spots all in the driveways. And what he was telling me was, yeah, it was just, just something I wasn't seeing, And he was telling me that, different his neighbors were moving in, but these were people who had vouchers for Section 8. So I was like, oh, okay. And about a year later, they had to move. Like the neighborhood just like really went down. There's people breaking into cars, and they ended up moving out of state. They moved to North Carolina. And so that was my first time realizing what they were doing, as far as like moving people out of their homes. These people have been in their homes for generations. And then I went to Keller Road to see a cousin, and that's where I realized like, oh, okay, they're taking people from the city, the inner city, as they build up these condos and build up these, townhouses, and they're giving them vouchers, and they're moving them out to like cities like Riverdale, exits like Keller Road, Glenwood, Covington Highway, and they're giving them vouchers in Section 8, and they're staying out there in the suburbs, kind of away from the city. If you kind of go like on Keller Road, cross 285, it's kind of like no man's land. You don't really see a lot of police officers. Police don't come unless, they're called upon. And it's just really sad, because the area is just unkept. It's like, we got to take a group of people and we're just going to move them and just kind of forget about them. So,
and then you know what else happens, and like there's also that thing that'll happen where they'll move everyone out of it. Like they'll begin to price up the neighborhood, gentrify the neighborhood, and then folks will move out of that. And so now the neighborhood will go back, like the value of the neighborhood will go back down. I've been seeing that too.
Yeah, they'll do that. Play with, different prices, different tax brackets. They'll go up on taxes. One story I remember hearing, there was a woman, if you come to Atlanta, you come near the Georgia Dome, that was nothing but residential housing and apartment buildings growing up. Now it's remade. Right. But there was an older woman. She probably was like in her 70s, 80s, staying in an apartment building. Everybody moved out because they bought them out. But her thing, she just wanted to be where she grew up. Her grandma grew up there, her mother. And so what they did was they literally stopped taking care of the building. So they kind of forced her out. The AC goes out and they just don't do anything about it. And, she's 70, 80, the heat in the summertime in Atlanta in July, August, that's not going to work. So basically they forced her out of there. So, yeah, man. So you can see this all over the city now. Not so much, because pretty much everything downtown is kind of, it's probably kind of pretty much been gentrified. There's our places like Cleveland Avenue that I don't know if that'll ever be gentrified, but you do have still some spots in Atlanta where it's still the same. But for the most part, Atlanta's changed, rapidly. Some streets I go down, I'm like, wow, they're putting up buildings here. I never thought they would, do that.
Man, and it's like I know for me, when I go home, I almost lean on people like you and Wes and like Dexter, because I don't know what to eat no more. Like if they done moved this over here and that's that. Like I remember the last time I was home, I was going down, I think it was like Howell Mill, and stuff over there had changed. And I know East Point's changed tremendously. Fayetteville, kind of like that whole Camp Creek Parkway area. It's wild, man. Like I feel like going home is a vacation, because you just don't know. You don't know what's about to pop up.
And for me, so for those who don't know, are not natives of Atlanta, different families live in different neighborhoods. So, if your uncle, your aunts, and your cousins all might have went to one high school because you grew up in a particular neighborhood. So mine grew up in an area called Joyland. That's kind of south of the old Brave Stadium. So
Yeah.
all my family went to a particular high school. So that's how everybody knew each other. The Russell family, they went to a particular high school, or the Jones family, they went to Price High School. So that community is gone. I don't really see that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me a little bit about like, so we had the pandemic that started last year, and people like had to stay home and all this stuff, and still do in some areas, and it changes the way it changes the way you live. So I know for some folks, the way they eat changes, physical activities change.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's because you just have more time to think about those things. You're at
Yeah.
home. So
Uh-huh.
talk to me a little bit about, like, because you have experience in these fields. You worked at Piedmont. For those that don't know, you've been in health and wellness. You have clients. Like, what's been one of, or like a couple of the things that you've been able to share with folks that you work with about, or that you've worked with about, like how to take advantage of this time that you have.
Okay, so I would say the quarantine is actually the perfect time. I mean, it's the absolute perfect time to get in shape, because a lot of times people don't get in shape because either one, they don't have the time or the knowledge. But in quarantine, now you have time, and then you have, just a myriad of different avenues and platforms to acquire knowledge, whether it be YouTube, Pinterest, blogs, or whatnot. So the main thing I've noticed with quarantine, is to really have a schedule. I know a lot of people just get up and just kind of do mindless things. And when you do that, you're going to lean towards more of your habits. And most time those habits are going to be bad habits, whether it's get up, start your day with a Pop-Tart, or start your day with just some high calorie foods or whatnot. And then you get into routines that are probably not going to lend you towards a positive day or just a healthy weight. So what you want to do is get into a routine, and utilize those mornings and those nights and those lunch times. So for instance, start your day off with a routine, or whether it be cardio or walking, running, whatever you like to do. And then lunchtime, say around 12 o'clock, it doesn't take long. You maybe can do a workout that takes like 10, 15 minutes. And then in the afternoon, so you're not sitting in the house all day, maybe go to the gym or go to the park. So that way you got 3 workouts in. It don't have to be long, 10 to 20 minutes. And you're breaking up your day. You're breaking up the monotony of the day. You're not staying in all day. You're not ruminating on, what could be or what's going on. And turn that TV off. Turn the TV off. We know about COVID. We know the numbers are, going up. Don't sit around all day listening to just bad news, because that you digest that and that actually can affect your day. So that's what I would say. Just to recap, is to have a good routine. Try to get a workout in multiple times a day, and it's have to be 10 to 15 minutes or 30 minutes, however long you want to do. And try just to keep a positive outlook and a positive mindset.
And like, going, like, connecting these two things, going back to like us growing up in Atlanta, and for me, I can speak for me, in saying that, like, there are definitely people that I grew up with who had less than me.
Yeah.
And there are also, like, we still had a lot of moments growing up, as well, where the lights were off and the heat was off, and mom was like, "You're gonna have to boil that water for that bathtub, boy." So
Yeah.
it's like, coming from those humble beginnings to like where we both are now. Like, do you ever, like, and we talk about this a lot, when you think back to how far you traveled, and like, the direction that you want to continue in, what's like the one thing that you tell yourself to keep yourself focused?
The saying that we always have, like, you're not supposed to be here. Not literally not supposed to be here, but your circumstances and who you were probably leading you more to be a statistic, than somebody who's overcame or accomplished what you've accomplished. So in that sense, hey, why not? Why not push it forward? Why not try this? Why not try to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish? Because you're not really people where you come from. You're not supposed people where you come from don't really make it this far. So why not push the envelope and go out there and get what you're trying to get?
Yeah.
That's what kind of keeps me kind of grounded, I would say, or keeps me motivated.
Yeah.
It's like I'm supposed to be here anyway, so shoot. Hey, while I'm here, make the best of it.
I know. For me, it sometimes shifts depending on like the mood or the year. And for a long time, it was that when I was at Southern Poly in undergrad. And I think now I've gotten to a place now where I just feel so liberated and like free from a lot of things that I had to deal with when I was back home in Atlanta.
Oh
So
yeah.
so like now it's just, and we talk about travel a lot. Now I just feel that I can just move around and like I can just move
Oh
around.
yeah.
It's that I don't know, it just feels liberating to be able to move around in a way that I couldn't before. And a lot of that has to do with finances, but also a lot of that has to do with information and not knowing. So yeah, it just feels liberating, man, being able to move around when I want to.
Oh yeah. I think my first trip, me and my family ever, first and only trip growing up, I remember my family taking was we went to Panama City Beach. And I just thought that was just like, wow, Panama City Beach. And my second trip I took when I was 18, I went over to Hawaii, and that was this it. Like, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. I want to go travel and see other things. I want to just see what other cultures are like. So for Hawaii, I played in an all-star game for a football team.
Uh-huh.
And they had this schedule for us. They was like, we're going to go do the Dole Plantation. We're going to do this, just cookie cutter schedule. And it was cool, but it wasn't the authentic time or trip I wanted to have. So I wasn't supposed to do this, but I broke away from the camp, and I actually met some people that live on the island, and they invited me to a barbecue. And I ate real authentic Hawaiian food. I met, grandmothers, uncles, cousins. They let me go fishing with them, and this was happening a whole day. They let me went fishing with them. I just got this experience, the Hawaiian culture from actual Hawaiians, not people who are paid to like put on a show for you. And that's the kind of trips that I like. So whenever I go somewhere, I like to do like authentic things, or actually like meet up with people that's from the native land wherever I'm going. I don't know. You kind of like to do that too?
Yeah, man. I mean, we did that when we went to Jamaica. That was a wild trip. I remember that and appreciating that a lot. Just being able to get away from all the tour folks and tourists.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's cool and all, but I don't want to do that the whole trip.
I do that a lot when I go overseas. I'll try to find little nooks and crannies. Like I'll reach out to locals on websites or whatever to see like what they can offer. Like I remember when I was in Prague, I'm so mad I didn't do this, but I was supposed to go horseback riding, and I ended up picking something else instead. But it was like this person that had a farm, and it was an 8 hour situation. They were gonna feed us and everything, and I ended up not going. But I love doing those things, man. Just getting away from like the touristy areas and hanging out with locals. Yeah, man, those things are great.
Oh yeah, you get the authentic feel and the touch of the people. You really get to see what the culture's like. So I've always been like that ever since that particular trip. Like I want to see, like, take me to where the people actually hang out. Because when I went to Hawaii, they took us down the strip, and it had like Neiman Marcus and
Yeah.
Oak, and I was like, man, I see this back home. That's pretty, but like,
Mhm.
where's the stuff I see like on TV, like National Geographic? And then when I actually rented a moped. It was like $24 for 24 hours. I gassed up for like $3, and I just started just going around the island. I was like, oh, this is okay. This is what I'm supposed to be seeing right here.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I went to Germany with my group. We had like a very small class. It was about six of us and the professor, and we went to Germany and we stayed in Berlin. But there was a day when professor was like, "We need to get out of the city." So we went to Potsdam, which isn't too far out of the city, but it's out of the city. It's definitely not in Berlin. And we went south. It was on the countryside. We had to take a train to get down there, and man, it was my favorite day of the trip.
Wow.
And I love Berlin, but just being able to get away, see locals. I met a few people, and walked around with some folks while they were walking their dogs. Like, just I don't know, it was fun, man. It was
Yeah.
really dope. Just meeting folks, man, and getting away from all the stuff that you see on TV. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Tell me, I got three more things that I think you'll
Right.
be interested in talking about. So, like, some people will go to school, have a degree, and then they'll move into another industry that has nothing to do with their degree. And
Yes.
you do business development, like new product development. Talk to me a little bit about how that connects with folks that, because a lot of us do that. Well, we'll get
Yeah.
one thing and we're working in another field. Well, talk to me a little bit about like your work and how that connects.
Okay. So yes. So one day I was trying to figure out what I want to do with my life or career or whatnot. Because our careers it takes up a big portion of our lives. So I was like really putting a lot of stress on what I wanted to do. And I remember walking into my supervisor's office at the time, and she was like more of a coach. She was kind of just like, "Hey, here are the resources. If you need anything, I'm here. Go be great." So I was talking to her about it, and she's like, "You know what? Just enjoy your experience. Just enjoy your journey because you'll figure it out. You're walking in the right direction. Um, once you get to that part of your journey, whatever's for you will be for you." And when she said that, I was like, I kind of took it with a grain of salt. I was like, you pull up to work in a nice, big body Benz, life is good for you. Of course, you can just sit back and just, spew this information. But she was actually she was actually right. And looking back at that, I wish I would have not stressed as much and really kind of just enjoyed my journey. So sometimes it was more so of trying to get to that next step or just trying to worry about what am I doing
Mhm.
versus being in the process. So that was 2016 when she told me that. At that particular time, I thought I wanted to go into medicine. I worked in the hospital. That's what I was around my whole life is healthcare, medicine, at least starting from 11th grade. And that's what I thought I wanted to do. And once I shadowed an actual physician or orthopedic surgeon, I realized that, hey, this is cool, but this is not something I want to do for 8 hours. I wouldn't even say 8 hours, probably 12, 14 hours a day for
Yeah.
25 plus years. I just can't see myself doing this too. For me, it was just too robotic, it's just kind of the same stuff every day. And I realized then, like, I'm in trouble. Like, here I am, I've got this master's degree, or I'm getting this master's degree. I put so much time and effort into become a physician. What is out there for me? Like, what do I want to do? And on top of that, I got bills. I got to get. I got things going on outside of just what I want to do in life. I got actually life situations, bills, place to stay, and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing I did was just network with people. I would tell people all the time, sometimes you kind of miss out on opportunities when you limit yourself to not talking to people who are not in your field or not, or just don't have the same interests as you. You'll meet someone like, oh, we have nothing in common. So I'm not going to spend too much time trying to meet this person or get to know them. And I think that's the worst thing you can do. The people that I work with now are totally different than who I am of what I've worked with before. They're totally different than people that work in the medical field.
Different
Uh,
backgrounds.
Say again.
Different backgrounds.
Way different backgrounds. So all the people I work with now are all engineers. Totally, they work totally different. Even the way that even the way they approach the day is totally different. So it's so there's probably people who I probably wouldn't spend that much time with outside of work. Now I would, because actually getting to know them and they're great people. But before, like maybe say 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't seek them out and say, hey, let's hang out, let's have a conversation, let's dialogue. What are you doing, or what's going on with in your life? So I would say try to just meet everybody and just be open-minded to new opportunities, new people, and that can unlock doors that you've never thought of. So that would be my advice to people out there.
Gotcha, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well, two more things. I'm gonna get you out of here. So living in New York, I always, every once in a while, people will ask me questions about Atlanta, or if I mention something about Atlanta, people will be like, "Yo, what's that?" or da 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 da. And one of the things that's a hot topic, always a hot topic, that sometimes people don't know about is Freaknik.
Oh.
And
what rabbit hole we going down?
And I'm trying to explain Freaknik to some folks.
Okay.
For those watching, for the first time on Milkshake Scholar, we're going to have an Atlanta native who's not me explain as best you can in your scholarly voice what Freaknik is, or what it was.
What it was. Okay, so yeah, he said what it was, because Freaknik is no longer, I mean, people might do their own thing, but organized event. But my first taste of Freaknik happened in 1994.
And we children.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm a child. I'm like 7 years old.
Yeah.
My dad staying on right off Peachtree and 25th Street. And if you don't know what Peachtree is, it's a major road that runs through Atlanta, and that's where the Freaknik parade would happen every year. So we come out, we're going to IHOP. We used to love to go to IHOP, and it was right across the street, right on Peachtree Street, and we're literally sitting there for like 10 minutes because we can't get through because there's just so many cars. It's like a parking lot just full of just I wouldn't say
on the street,
yeah. College age, I would say college age people, probably some older people too out there, but most people were in college.
Them old heads, they gotta have their fun too.
Yeah, the older heads got to have their fun too. So I'm sitting out there, it's just me and my dad, and I'm just seeing things that I've never saw before. I'm seeing skin, I'm seeing, back then that thing was Daisy Dukes, shorts that used to ride up, the girls or whatnot. They would cut them and make them, but I'm seeing Daisy Dukes. I'm seeing crop tops with no bra. It's just like one of those Girls Gone Wild video, but just out on Peachtree.
Just black folks,
and there's a lot of black people. So I've never seen this before. So I'm sitting there watching it, and my dad's letting me watch it. We're not crossing the street. I was like, why is we not crossing the street to go to IHOP? But he notices I'm watching all this, and he's letting me take this all in. That's some old school parenting for you.
I remember it had to be maybe 95. It had to be 95 because Pops was working at Cub Foods near Greenbrier Mall. For folks that Atlanta enough to know Cub Foods by Greenbrier.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Pops working Greenbrier, and my mom and dad would alternate picking us up from school. So my mom was picking us up from Cottonelle Colony, which was right around the corner. And then she would pick us up, and then she would pick up Pops. And so it's rush hour. It's Freaknik 95. I'm talking about, this is like the crux of Atlanta culture. It's Freaknik 1995. This is when the Braves won the World Series before the Olympics.
That's when they had the Atlanta bass music out with Kilo, Right Here in the Dream.
Let me tell you, man, we picked up my dad from Cub Foods, and we, like you said, we on the main strip, just stuck. Like, we still by Greenbrier, and we sitting there for like 20 minutes because everybody done got out their cars. People got their bass all the way up, trunks open, girls riding, like women riding on the bed of the pickup truck, people flashing each other, just ass everywhere. And it was, and I'm sitting there, and you know how religious my parents were, like are.
Oh yeah.
And mom sitting there talking about close your eyes. And I'm sitting there like this.
Oh, all taking it all in.
Close your eyes.
When we stand on that Peachtree Street, I was saying the same thing. Remember those geo trackers, the little Jeeps?
Uh-huh.
And those were big back then. So you saw girls shaking, and the guys, they would literally come out the car. They had them cameras that were like this. You had to hold them like this, like bazookas, and they were swinging them around, trying to catch all of it. And I remember this one convertible pulled up right where we were. The Mustang convertible pulled up, and this girl, she was doing the bankhead bounce, that old school dance, and she looked at me. She's like, "When you get my age, you're gonna be doing this too." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
I need to get my cousin on here so he can, because he was of age and did participate in Freaknik. So I need to get him on so I could get some like memories from folks that could actually participate in it back in the day. Because we were just little babies observing.
Oh yeah. I would see people like actually, they would turn the car off and be serving drinks and hanging on the car and just parlaying right on the spot.
Them gas stations, if you needed gas, you could forget about it. You won't get no gas.
Yeah, gas up before you start your day, because if you ran out of gas, you
had to look. You had to look because everybody was there, and no one was getting gas at the gas station. Let me preface: no one was getting gas. People were just hanging out.
No, they might have had some gas.
Hey, before I get you out of here, what's the song that plays? The song that plays during the opening credits of your biopic.
Ooh, the song that plays, man. Hey, I'm a music head. I like a lot of different music, so that's gonna be tough.
I'll tell you what you can do though.
What?
To bring down that list of music. When does your biopic start? Because that'll help you figure out what song.
Oh, okay, got you. I would say about the time I was 31. About 31 is when I really came into my own. It's like, okay, this is who I am. I would say, okay, can I do a CD?
Yeah.
I would say Quimini. Outcast and Quimini CD.
Guess what? It's mine too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Outcast and Quimini CD. Yeah, that would probably be the CD for my, because it's got a lot of funk, it's got a lot of rhythm, it's got some good lyrics, good content on it. So I would have to say, and it's all Atlanta, so I would have to from that CD.
Hey, well, I appreciate you coming on, homie. Do you have anything you want to plug? I've been asking folks if they want to tell people like some organizations to donate to, anything really, like whatever you want to plug.
Oh yeah, so I used to, when I was before COVID, I used to I would volunteer a lot for Habitat for Humanity, and that's I don't know if you know what that organization is. Is basically you're building a home for people who probably can't afford housing, and usually single mothers, and they usually have like a couple kids or whatnot. So just to see, and I would like volunteer with them because it's very hands-on. You're learning a whole lot, and then you would get to see like the fruition of a dream of somebody becoming a homeowner, and you get to meet the family and whatnot, and you come back and visit them. So I would say Habitat for Humanity. That was my thing when I was out volunteering and whatnot.
Dope, man, dope. Big homie, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. Hey, you got to do it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll hit you up on the FaceTime, man.